Oh, hi there. You're watching and or listening to North of Weatherfield, a Canadian Coronation Street podcast. My name... Oh, wait. Sorry. Go ahead. Do your part first. Sorry.
This week, we are talking about episodes that aired in Canada from April 29th to May 3rd, 2024. So, if you haven't seen them yet and you still want to see them, avert your ears.
Avert your ears and or eyes.
If you want to know what happened and can't be bothered watching them all, this is the perfect place to be.
Exactly. So should we do the theme now?
Yes.
Okay, let's do the theme. I need to get to my buttons still, Shannon. Actually, I don't need to get to my buttons right now. It's fine.
Exactly.
It's all good.
All right. This week, we are talking about...
Wait. We haven't decided who we are yet. Who are you?
Well, I'm going to be Evelyn because goodness knows that this is all too much. And so someone's got to, you're trying to get to the buttons, but I have papers to put places and you just haven't really had a think about this and what's going to happen.
That's pretty good. I've got mine all planned out.
Oh, no.
You ready?
Yes.
For people who are listening at home, Shannon will describe what you're seeing.
Are you being Sean, looking at the deer in the headlights?
No, I'm being Liam in the courtroom.
Aw, no, he looked a little bit more sad than that.
Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this week we're going to be talking about Liam, Dylan, Violet, and Sean. We're going to be talking about Edison. We're going to be talking about Leanne and Rowan of the Institute.
Yeah.
Carla, Jenny, and Daisy. Stu, Evelyn, Sam, and Nick.
Okay.
And, of course, Roy.
Amazing.
And we're also going to share our favorite moment.
All right. Sounds good.
And a new thing I'm adding, a lovely moment.
Wow. We didn't have a production discussion about that.
I know, but I needed to fit it in somewhere, and it wasn't worth part of the storyline.
Right. Let's roll with it.
All right. So, first of all, Liam, Dylan, Violet, and Sean. So, Dylan and Violet came back up to Weatherfield for the trial. And they're going to be staying in the hotel. As does everybody, really. I mean, where did everyone go?
Exactly.
Before the Chariot Square Hotel. Because Violet refuses to have anything to do with Sean because she views this as all having happened on his watch. I mean, she's not wrong. It wasn't all his fault.
No.
But
I have lots of thoughts about that.
the next morning, getting ready for court, and Dylan has fled the hotel and he's taken all of his stuff. Liam finds out that he's gone AWOL. And so while Gary is looking for Dylan, Liam says, I'm heading out home.
Right.
But he's really, I think, gone to try to find Dylan.
Okay.
So the two of them meet up and Liam says to Dylan says, come with me. We have to get out of here. And Liam's like, no way. I'm just starting to feel a bit more normal now. And you owe me this because it's been 6 months of hell for me. You have to stand up for him. And Dylan's like, he said, he'll hurt me. He'll hurt my family. He'll hurt all of us. And Liam quite correctly says, he's already going to get you, especially if he doesn't go to jail because you grassed him up in the first place.
Exactly.
So go through with it. Dylan decides to go through with it. They both go back. Great. Getting ready for court. And then for some reason, as Sean and Dylan are waiting for the cab to go to court, Sean decides that he should just pop back inside and leave Dylan alone for a minute. And so one of Mason's thugs comes up and threatens him yet again.
Yeah.
Off they go to the trial. Liam tells his bit. Dylan gets on the stand and says, nah, I didn't see a knife. Don't know what you're talking about. And Liam's upset. Liam leaves the courtroom. Dylan sees this and Dylan changes his mind, fesses up.
Yeah.
He's like, tells the truth.
Yeah.
Says what happened. So Mason is going to he's found guilty. He's going to get a custodial sentence, but they'll come back in a week to say what that will be. So have we seen the last of Mason and his gang?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Without question not. Because he's a good bad guy.
Right.
And he's a generational bad guy, right? It's like he's the bad guy for the younger set.
Right.
Compared to like Harvey and Damon are the bad guys for the generation up.
Yeah.
But Mason's a good bad guy. I have two thoughts about this.
Okay.
About this whole storyline. One is the thug that Mason sent.
Yes.
Didn't look very thuggy.
No, but you have to remember, these kids are 16.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So all you need is a bit of heft behind
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
someone who's as nasty
He
as
looked like he
Mason.
could be convinced to change his ways for a good time, though. You know what I mean? Want to go for a drink instead? All right, cool. Let's go.
I can't go for a drink. I'm only 15 or 16.
Well, if he's 16, as long as he has lunch.
It's not. In reality, it's not a thing.
It is a thing, isn't it? Someone out there with Google
Well,
can tell
no,
us.
maybe it is, but I guarantee you, 2 16-year-olds go into a pub and order lunch. They will not be served a pint.
No, you'd have to go in with someone's dad.
Yeah.
So the one thing that wasn't even the issue I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about the fact that he threatened Dylan and then backed away about 6 feet and ducked into a doorway.
Quite successfully.
No one, I haven't seen anyone else do that on the Coronation Street. I was like, yeah, you can all just disappear back there.
I thought he was around a corner, but yeah.
No, he was just in a doorway.
Okay.
Just disappeared into the bricks.
If only someday we'd make a map, we'd know whose doorway.
We don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way of telling.
There's no way of telling.
And the other thing I thought was the whole, Dylan staying with Sean.
Right. So Violet and Dylan are headed back down to London.
Yeah.
Dylan says, I'm not going. And
Yes.
she's like, okay, you can stay with
And then
Sean.
she just says, okay.
Yeah.
It was all very haphazard. I don't think that, what's her name? Violet and
I don't
Sean.
think either one of them are great parents.
No, neither one of them are good parents.
No.
Because that's not how you parent. You don't just parent on a whim like that.
No.
You have to be able to make decisions quickly. You have to be able to turn on a dime. You have to be able to make decisions, based on the instinctual best interests of your sprog.
Yeah.
But I think you can't just, it just seemed all very cavalier. I wasn't cool with that.
Yes. Like his PlayStation's still down in London. Why wouldn't he go back down there for a week, find out how long Mason's getting in jail?
Plus,
Come on back up.
exactly. Why would he bail on the train station? It's a 2-hour train ride. We know how far the train ride is. It's not a very far train ride.
Yeah.
Anyway, I get a little hot under the collar about that.
We know. Okay, next, Edison. So Edison is back from seeing Aggie.
Yeah.
I had not been aware that Edison wasn't aware that Michael had told Aggie everything about Edison gambling again.
Right.
So he got there thinking that he was going to bring his baby back. And she's like, yeah, no, we're done. I'm not coming back there because you lied again.
Right.
You're gambling again.
Yeah.
So he comes back all despondent. What did he probably...
Aggie.
There you go.
Aggie.
And meantime, while he's been gone, Michael and Dee Dee have had to open yet another final demand. And this time it's going to take a big chunk of money to stave off the bailiffs again.
Yeah.
And Edison's not working. So this means Dee Dee and Michael are going to have to come up with the money.
Right.
So then Edison gets a letter from the insurance company saying that they're going to pay out for the claim for the fire, and they're going to give him more than he was expecting. And he's like, that's great. I can buy some tools because no one will hire me as a laborer without tools.
Yeah.
And they say, maybe you should actually use this to stop the bailiffs from coming because otherwise we have to make these payments. Like they don't say otherwise we have to make the payments. They're like, pay down your debt.
Yeah, I felt that was unclear.
Yes. And then he somehow has radar hearing, bat-like hearing from upstairs and overhears them quite quietly for Michael in the kitchen talking about...
What's that? What do they say?
And about their concerns. So he comes down, he says, you know what? You're right. I'll pay down the debt instead. So first question.
Yeah.
Why can't he do a bit of both?
Well, that's why it wasn't clear.
Yes. So this larger than expected settlement, he would need that if he were opening up his own yard again, because then you need all the tools.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I don't know much about construction, but I feel that if he's looking to be a day laborer, like when he called his pals, you just need
he needs a good cordless drill. He needs hammers. He needs screwdriver set. He needs maybe a couple saws.
Like this is the kind of stuff that you can probably get wherever the bailiffs sell his tools when they bought them.
You probably
they took
for
them.
For £1,000, he could be back in business.
I think for a couple £100, he could be back in
maybe
business. Yes.
Exactly. That part was unclear.
My other question is Edison actually going to pay off any of his debt?
Well, he seems a little slippery, doesn't he?
Why are Michael and Dee Dee so hands off about this? They haven't said, How much are you getting, Dad? When are you getting paid it, Dad? Can maybe lawyer daughter Dee
Has he shown them the letter yet?
I don't think he hid it from them, but he didn't show them.
I don't think he showed them.
But they didn't ask to see it. But Dee Dee's not a lawyer. She keeps saying solicitor.
Yeah.
Why isn't she involved? And they have had to pay for him and his gambling debts.
Yeah.
Surely that lets them overstep. They wouldn't be overstepping to say, Dad, we need to have the check go through us.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, they've got a bad parenting with Violet and Sean, and then bad childrening by Dee Dee and Michael.
All right, Leanne and Rowan. So Rowan is the head of the Institute.
That's me shaking my head if you're not watching.
The guru. So Leanne is seen, she's watching their videos, and she's essentially meditating, I'm going to say.
Sure.
Sitting quietly, standing quietly with her eyes closed.
Yeah.
And Nick is purposefully startling her and being a bit of a jerk.
Yeah.
And Toya is being generally dismissive.
A little pious.
Little mean.
A little patronizing.
A little mean. Simon is standing by her and he's saying it's not that bad. It's really just like the same normal stuff.
Yeah.
And as Leanne's trying to explain, it's similar to mindfulness and manifestation, which are things that have been around for, especially, I mean, manifestation was what, the 90s? That became a
popular buzz
thing.
term.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I find myself in an odd position with this one.
Really? Why?
Because I am not someone who believes in mindfulness and
I can
manifestation.
feel a butt coming.
But they're being really horrible to Leanne.
Well,
Toya then just goes to the hotel to talk to Rowan.
Yeah.
Because she's a therapist. She took that 6-week course or something.
That's right. That's
and I'm
all
not
it takes.
dismissing therapists.
No.
I'm dismissing Toya's attitude to his whole thing.
I feel she went longer than 6 weeks.
I think she probably did. Yeah. But she was ticking me off.
Okay.
So his whole, what did he call it? I wrote it down here. Reality coding.
Reality coding.
And he's comparing the brain to a computer.
Right.
And he's saying, you can essentially upload good apps, things to help you, and get rid of bad stuff and malware. Toya is having none of this. And it's like, isn't therapy just a way to get you to help essentially get rid of some of the traumas you've experienced?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, I think the analogy itself is fine.
It was basic, but it's like, if that's what it takes for you to understand what you're trying to do.
But see, this is the part of the problem with how Toya and Nick are dealing with this with Leanne, is that they're being condescending and patronizing.
Yes.
And that's just going to drive her further into the weird cult arms of Rowan.
Exactly. So Toya says to Nick, you better look and see how much she's paid. And Nick's like, it's not that much.
Valid question.
And then looks and sees that she's just signed up for a new module for £400.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, you can't do that. And she's like, okay, great. Take it out of my wages because I'm going to be doing this.
Plus also what wages?
I don't know. Maybe they're organized. Maybe they're a business that has a profit so they can actually pay each other.
I don't even know what that's like.
I don't know either. Yeah. So Leanne video chats Rowan and says, I'm sorry, I have to cancel.
Right.
And she says that it's really helped her a lot. And he thanks her for standing up for him. And he says,
genius.
And he, as the good con man he is, he says, I'll refund you all your payments till now.
Everything.
See you later.
A little bit of psychological upselling there.
Yeah. And then she's like, okay, forget it. I'm back in. Keep all the money. I'm doing the next module. Yeah. So here's my question. Is the paid, so it's definitely a cult or a whatever in the aspect of it's pay to play. It's like all these things you hear about.
But I mean, like a lot of places are pay to play. Not that directly.
So where's the line, right? So is the pay to play aspect blinding everyone around Leanne to the fact that she's saying for the first time she's feeling better, that she has felt massive guilt and trauma and grief since Oliver died, right? Which was, I don't know, 8 years ago, maybe? At least 5, quite a while ago. And Toya's like, well, that's natural. That's just grief. It's like, Toya, you're a counselor. If she's still feeling acute grief,
then
8 years later,
that should be dealt with.
that should be dealt with.
Yeah, I agree.
This isn't a recent thing.
No.
Yeah. So is the money and the computer thing, like, is anyone else helping Leanne?
No one else is helping Leanne whatsoever. However, I feel that the Rowan dude has all the hallmarks of a con man. Because it's going to be 400 pounds for this module. And then once you get to module 8, it's going to be 4,000 pounds.
But you're going to be lucky because you qualified for it.
But
you're
you've
lucky
made it that
to take
far.
it.
Exactly. So
Yes,
it's very
exactly.
Scientology, all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I did have a lot of respect for the psychological damage control / upsell where he said, I'll refund you this course and all of your money.
Yeah.
Which is a strong move. It's like when we used to work in the hotel.
Yeah.
In the Hotel Belvedere.
Yeah.
And people would complain about something or this or that or whatever. And then we'd say, oh, well, perhaps you'd be happier at the Holiday Inn. And then,
Because this was a boutique hotel.
Yeah, boutique hotel.
Yeah.
And it was a little shabby chic for sure.
Yeah.
However, it had lots of charm.
Yeah.
And but you would say that to people, you'd be happier at the Holiday Inn, and they'd be like, "Oh no, no, actually, I'm happy. I'll pay double for the room
exactly.
now." Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So, anyways, obviously, we haven't seen the end of
nobody
Rowan,
ever paid double, by the way.
No, no, they just didn't go to the Holiday Inn.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Carla, Jenny, and Daisy. So Daisy and Jenny are getting a little more public in their bickering and fighting about Daisy's spending. Daisy is ramping up the spending still. And this is adding to Carla's suspicions, including they're saying stuff with the mic on karaoke night way too close to them.
Yes.
So Carla confronts Jenny, her former stepmom, and says, what's going on with this?
Yeah.
And Jenny's like, it's nothing. It's ridiculous. And Carla says, well, I'm just going to go and ask Bethany myself then, because she's a journalist. So she knows well the dangers of slander.
Yeah.
So she's not going to be saying this stuff if there isn't something behind it.
Yeah.
And then Jenny just spills forth and tells her
guts.
everything.
Yeah.
Carla goes storming back into the pub. Jenny clop, clop, bangs in her eyes along behind her. You notice Jenny always clops.
She does clap. I like Jenny, though.
She needs a trim on her bangs. And Carla says, right, in the back, let's go. Daisy goes back there. Ryan's sort of lurking in behind. And Carla is like, I know everything. This is ridiculous. I'm going to the police. They can't talk her out of it. She goes to go. Ryan's like, I'll go with you. Waiting at the police station, Ryan says, you know what? Don't go through the police. This isn't going to help anything. It won't get you your money back.
Yeah.
What's it going to achieve? And to Carla's credit, she's like, yes, the money is what I want out of this. So I have to go about this the best way to do that.
Because she's shrewd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they go back in and Carla's like, right, I own the pub now. You're working for me. Daisy, you're fired. And you two of you are going to pay me back everything that you stole. And Jenny offered to pay her £500 a month towards the $250,000 she'd stolen.
£250,000. Here's £500 a month.
A month, yes.
I like how Carla did the math real fast, though. That was great.
I know, unlike us.
Yeah,
I couldn't actually read my handwriting well enough, and I was like, I can't see. Does that say 40 years?
We'd have probably agreed to it and been like, I guess by next year it'll be paid off.
£500 a month, yeah, definitely.
Obviously.
So Daisy, I want to say poor Daisy, not really poor Daisy, but Daisy who's been cut adrift from everyone else when she's not the only one to blame.
She's definitely not the only one to blame.
Goes to Ryan, who's at Carla's place, and Ryan's like, I'm not letting you into Carla's flat.
We're over, baby.
Ridiculous.
Basically says that.
And so she goes and sits all despondent in the cafe, and she's going to leave there, and Daniel comes in. Daniel, who is still way too interested in what Daisy's up to.
Listen, Daisy's cute. Plus, she's getting more. If you notice in the storyline as it progresses and she becomes the outcast and ostracized, she's getting more diminutive. She was getting quite sort of brazen and sort of, she seemed bigger than she was, and now she's all very small again.
Right. Yeah. Softer hairstyles, I've noticed.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Yeah.
And Daniel says to her, Bethany feels absolutely terrible about what she did.
Yeah.
Which I hadn't been under the impression that Bethany regretted what
Absolutely
she said.
not. I think Daniel just said that.
Maybe. I don't know. But then Daisy's like, yeah, no, actually, she was absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And so it was probably good that she said that and Daniel went away, because I have a feeling Daniel was going to, I don't know, offer for Daisy to stay with them or
Probably.
something.
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know.
Are you familiar with the term throuple?
What about if neither of the two women in the throuple know about the throuple?
Is that still a throuple?
Daisy goes and sells a bunch of her designer gear that she'd bought, hands Carla a wad of cash, says, I'll pay you back the rest of it.
Right.
And Carla is like, great, see you later. But I'm not interested, and tells Jenny that Daisy has to move out of the pub flat. Rita overhears Carla and Jenny sort of finishing a few things up in the pub, discovers what's happened.
Yeah.
And then she absolutely lays into Jenny, yay Rita, for throwing Daisy under the bus and skirting pretty much all the blame herself.
Yes. Yeah.
And she's not letting Jenny's, Reet, just, she's not having any of it.
No, and I like that. I like when Rita comes in like that, because she reminds me of my gran in almost every way, except the fact that she's not dead, like my gran. But my mom's mom, she like, so I like how she comes in and she just lays it down. Like, listen, this is what's happening. I've been around the block a million times.
Yeah.
Fix this.
Yeah, I'm always here to help you, but you have to fix this.
Yeah.
And she also says to Jenny, you need to either defend Daisy or you need to take the same punishment, because anything else is hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Which I thought was very astute.
It was.
So it sounds like Jenny's going to support Daisy more. Is that just because she doesn't want to take the blame? Maybe.
She doesn't like getting shouted at by Rita.
I think so.
That's largely it.
So here's my question.
Okay.
Will everyone find out what happened and that Carla essentially owns the pub now?
Well, maybe, because I think what's weird is that I think what's kind of being brushed under the carpet a little bit is the fact that it was £250,000. That's a lot of money. Like, that's major theft.
Yeah.
That's theft over
5,000 or whatever
5,000, exactly.
the threshold is.
So that's like, this isn't just like a misunderstanding. Oh, I just thought I'd keep, this is like major fraud.
Yeah.
Is it fraud? No, it's no fraud. It's just stealing, isn't it? It's stealing from stolen money. So it's like finding a TV set that was stolen and then stealing it.
I think it's worse because you knew whose TV set it was.
Oh, Rita was right.
All right. So Stu, Evelyn, Sam, and Nick. So I've put them all together because they are all friends of Roy. People on Roy's side who went out of their way to support him.
Oh, I like this angle.
So Sam overhears Nick and Shona talking, gets a sense that this stuff that's going on with Roy, and it's not very good, asks if he can go and play chess with Roy because it's the school holidays.
Yeah.
And Nick is like, nope, cafe isn't a safe place for you to be right now.
Right.
Too much stuff going on. And so Sam says, can I go see Hope? And Nick says, okay. So first of all, like, you think he's not going to get in trouble. Hope would just march them across to the cafe and sit with him while he played chess with Roy.
Hope's not. What the hell
She's
is that?
I know.
More bad parenting.
I know, but she's his girlfriend. So Sam, instead of going to Hope's, goes over to Roy's, but wisely, and to be fair, making the right decision, he just says to Roy, let's go play chess. So they go up to the flat to play chess. So no one's in the cafe.
Yeah.
So well done, Sam. But then Roy finds out that Sam does not have permission to be there and that Nick was told explicitly not to be there. So good old Roy marches Sam back over to the bistro where Nick is.
Yeah.
And then Nick sends Sam home and then essentially kind of manhandles Roy, shoving him a bit.
Yeah.
But it's to say to him, Roy, you can't do things like this because it doesn't look good for you.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
I'm worried about it, how it looks for you to have this young boy up in your flat.
Yeah.
Because, of course, Lauren was 17.
Yes.
So
not that far off of Sam.
Two children, really.
Exactly.
Not really. 17 is a child. So that was Nick doing his bit then to defend him. Stu decides to go to the precinct to talk to the homeless population to see if they know anything. And Stu. So he finds this guy and he asks him if he knows about Lauren. And then he decides for some reason to hunker. Now, I get hunkering down because the guy's sitting down.
Yeah, no, it's a sign of respect. So to come
However,
on the same level.
he was very close to him.
He was a little close, and he also, the mistake was he pulled his wallet out.
Because the guy said, I might know something.
And he wants a couple bucks.
I want some, yeah, fair enough. At which point, I think I would have stood up to get my wallet out of my pocket.
Taking a step back into the street.
Taking a step back, pulled out my 10 or 20 pound note or whatever.
Yeah, as opposed to leafing through 10s, 20s, 50s and going, I'm going to give you a 10.
And also he also had his phone. Like, I don't know how his phone didn't get stolen. He had his phone right there.
Did he not get his phone stolen?
I don't know. I don't think so. But anyways, so as he's bending over, what happens?
Lamped with a brick. Just lamped.
Yeah, which they didn't really show, which was interesting. It was a weird cut, and I wondered if that was for Canada.
The cut was in the middle of the lamping.
I wondered if it was for Canada, if they're willing to show less extreme violence.
Yeah, maybe.
Of old men being hit on head with brick.
It's not that old.
Why do you feel it? Do you feel that two of you are a little similar in age?
I'm looking at this light. My hair is a little silvery on the side.
You wish it were that silvery. And then Evelyn. So Evelyn has gone off because they're trying to essentially come up with ideas, things to show the police, to put them back on the track for who it could be, if not Lauren. As Stu rightly points out, which I'd sort of not brought to mind, he himself was accused of murder.
Yeah.
He didn't commit it.
Yeah.
He sat back waiting, thinking, well, the police will figure out I didn't do it. And they just, as he said, they've figure it out until they don't figure it out. And then you go to jail. So Evelyn comes back with a video that she has sourced from Hope. Yeah. I really feel we should have Hope and Bethany on this whole thing. The two of them would probably
figure it out in no time.
Yeah. And it's a video by, as Evelyn says, it's by someone who says they are Haley's son. And Roy says, is his name Christian? And she says, yes. And he's like, that is in fact Haley's son. So I think I'm correct if I remember that Haley, when Haley was still Harold, had a son called Christian.
No, you're right. I couldn't put that together in my head. I was like, wait a minute. I thought that Haley had transitioned. And I was like, wait a minute. Oh. And then you said about that when she was Harold. And it's like, oh, yeah.
And I believe that Christian, if I recall, Christian had essentially disowned her when she transitioned. And then as she was dying or after she was dead, essentially gave nothing but grief to Roy.
Yeah.
But apparently in this video, Christian is accusing Roy of saying that Lauren is the second person he's killed because he already killed Haley. And of course, Roy it wasn't on camera, but he essentially supported her
efforts
taking an overdose when she had terminal cancer.
Yes.
So it was near the end. Yeah. So here's my question.
Same situation that Billy and
Paul are in. Yep. Yeah. Yep. So here is my question. Did the homeless man actually know something?
No.
You think he knew nothing and he was looking for money?
Absolutely. He knew nothing. I don't think he knew anything.
Because I don't know how many of them, if they didn't know Lauren well, how many of the homeless population around there would have talked to the police if the police asked them if they saw anything.
Maybe. You might be right.
Because otherwise, where are we going with this Lauren thing?
Don't know yet, Shannon.
Which brings us to the final part of the Lauren thing. Roy.
Yes.
So Roy has offered his staff that they can take some time off if they wish.
Yeah.
Because there's constant phone calls coming into the cafe, harassing phone calls and harassment in the caf. Also, he invites Alex back to ask him if he wants to take time. When did Alex come back? Wasn't he up staying with Kathy at her sister's, Alex's mom's?
Yeah, maybe. Plus, also, what a time to come back.
I know. And then he says, yeah, I'll work. And then he just wasn't there.
Yeah.
But also, where does Alex live when he's in Weatherfield?
I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, we don't have to know where everyone lives, but we've never seen his abode, have we?
No, but if he wants a roommate, there's like 8 people who really I don't know where they sleep.
Great flat.
So, yes. So they're having these discussions in the caf between Evelyn and the staff and whatever about how they have to keep answering the phone because Roy has left a message with Lauren's mom on her phone, and he's hoping that Lauren's mom calls him back because he wants to say, I didn't murder your daughter. Because nothing screams I didn't murder your daughter than saying, hey, person I don't know,
Let's
contact
talk
me.
about the fact that I didn't murder your daughter.
Oh, dear. And then Roy comes down and Shona says to him, Lauren's mom is sitting over here. She wants to talk to you.
There's a lot of dynamics in this delivery you're giving right now. It's good.
Well, that's good.
I like it.
Yeah. It's because we only finished watching it about an hour ago.
I know. That's why it's brought you down here.
Yes. So Roy and Nina sit with this woman and she says, I had to leave. My husband was violent. And so I'd really like you to tell me, I don't really know much of what Lauren was up to recently. Please tell me everything. So first of all, with all of the harassment that's coming.
Yes.
No one has asked for a picture of her and Lauren together. Like anything to prove there's a connection between them.
Well, that was my question. My question was when we were watching that was, is this actually her mother? Like, do we know? But then she said she did so much media and press. It's like, surely they would have said, oh yeah, that's her from the paper.
But they've been avoiding, I feel, the media and the press. And also that was probably London media and press. Where literally
no one will have any idea.
Literally more my question was, in London, are the press, or she's from South. I don't know where that is, but we're going to say London. That's where everyone lives. Are the local press there camped outside her door for a missing, presumed murdered 17-year-old, perhaps sex worker young girl from Manchester?
Sadly not.
No.
Yeah.
So anyways, then she says to Roy, well, I have nowhere. Roy says, where are you staying? She's like, I have nowhere to stay for the night. And he's like, we can find you a hotel. And she says, I don't have any money, I'm afraid.
Oh, red flags, Roy, red flags.
So first of all, it's still daylight out.
Yeah.
How far is it from London to Manchester again on train?
2 hours. Just 2 hours. Plus,
just get the train home.
Get the train home. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a great rail service there.
And then Roy insists that she should stay with him.
Which was craziness.
For so many reasons.
Yeah.
For a start, just because there is no bed.
I've never been angrier at Roy.
Well, I have a few times actually,
have
but
you?
Yeah. So Nina and Evelyn are also protesting this idea, saying pay for a B&B for her.
Yeah.
But for some reason he's decided, and they were just looking at it from the optics of,
yes,
if the trolls find out that Lauren's mom, who's getting trolled for being a bad parent, is staying with Lauren's purported killer.
But he's completely unable to see the optics of any situation based on his thing with Sam, based on going to the vigil, based on having this woman who says it's Lauren's mother stay over. Like, he doesn't get it.
No. And so then as Roy is bringing her up for the night, he's like, I've got a pot of soup on. Here we go. And her phone rings and she's like, well, just be a minute. And he goes up. She answers it, suddenly looking shifty.
There's a couple things there. When she answered the phone, I'll let you finish, then I'll get into it.
I'm almost finished. So she answered the phone, says, yep, I'm in. Can't talk right now.
Yeah.
Hangs it up, puts it back in her purse, and there's a thing of pepper spray in her purse.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
So we don't know if it's actually Lauren's mom. Is she just coming to see it? Does she think, oh, this is the guy who killed my daughter, I'm going to take him down? Or is this the guy who they say killed my daughter, people say he didn't? I'm going to come and see if he's bad. If he's bad, I've got pepper spray. But here's the problem I have. The problem I have is that her phone rang. When she picked up the phone to answer the phone, she answered, hello, hi, hiya. It was like, wasn't it whatever, I can't remember what she said exactly, but it was a very friendly, ha ha ha, sort of tone. And then she went, I'm in.
Yeah.
After he left the room.
Yeah.
That's a red flag because who's she talking to?
Well, she's got call display, so she knows exactly who it is.
I know, but is she answering hiya?
Oh, no, she's saying hiya for Roy's sake.
Yeah, well, I know exactly she is. I understand that what she's doing is a ruse. I get that.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is that wouldn't Roy, if Roy were a bit brighter, Roy would have went, that was weird. Why is she all happy on a phone call? She's supposed to be despondent and up here and she's can't get back to London, which is 2 hours away. There's just so many red flags. I've never been more disappointed.
So, lovely moments.
Yeah.
I wanted to bring this up because there wasn't really somewhere to put it in for the things that happened because it was so brief, but it was lovely. So when David noticed the wedding party, money had gone missing.
Yeah.
And then Audrey and Maria had to admit, Audrey had to say, Maria dipped essentially,
Yeah.
ran out on the wedding party, all went terribly. They did it for free. And so David's freaking out, and Maria admits that Liam had been having suicidal thoughts. And the lovely moment was the conversation between Audrey and Maria, who sat and had a nice chat.
Oh, yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
And Audrey shared with Maria, her overdose attempt from 2 years previous.
Yeah, that was nice.
And it wasn't, because it felt very genuine.
It did, because it felt like that. You thought, having gone through the storyline at the time, you thought everybody knows about this.
Yeah.
But of course, nobody knew about it.
Nobody knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a little inner circle of people, and that was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was good.
Yeah.
It was good. I liked it as well. It was
I
really
liked
good.
it. And then my favorite moment,
Yeah.
which is for humor.
Okay. I can't wait to find out.
So Stu was talking after being lamped across the head, as you say, with the brick, about how he's going to keep his ear to the ground for new information. And Shona said to him, "Keep your ear to the ground, not for the first time today, eh?"
That's pretty good.
Well, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'll say lovely moments. I think the lovely moments were, which was a weird one, but I think, again, I'll go back to Rita.
Okay.
Because Rita she came in, she was upset, but she didn't chew Jenny out. She was like, listen, this is what's happening.
Right.
Here's the facts.
Lovingly chewed her out.
Yeah. So get on the right side here, which was great. I thought that was sort of, not quite an Audrey Maria moment, but it was nice.
No, it was nice. You're right.
And favorite
Both
moment.
examples of essentially good parenting, because they're both in a parental relationship.
And then favorite moment is going to have to be, that's a tough one. It's going to have to be something from one of the episodes we just recently watched, because I can't remember any
That's
details.
most of them, so you're in luck.
Else.
We didn't stick to Karen's program of 222.
What's his face in the cafe? Alex?
Yep.
When he's rubbing his eyes, as Roy's there, and he's, thank you all for joining us. And Shona says, there's just two of us. And he starts talking, and then he goes, are you Alex? And he's like, he's hungover. I'm not hungover. I just went out for a few with the lads.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just a throwaway line, but it was like, okay.
Yeah.
It just humanized his character a bit more. I liked it.
Yeah, I agree.
It
was good.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you would, actually, I'll let you tell people where to go, because I got it wrong last time.
Yes, exactly. You sent them to nowhere. If you would like to subscribe, and we'd love if you subscribed, it's free. You can go to weatherfield.ca and just hit the subscribe button. You'll get an email notification every time there's a new episode. You get to see our smiling faces in your email inbox. You get to see a little summary of what we're going to talk about in each episode. And if you are listening, you get a choice. You can watch the video, or you can just listen to the podcast. And you can also go to your favorite podcast platform like Apple Podcasts or Pocket Casts, if you're Dan and Sharon, or these types of people, then you can listen there as well. And that's all you have to do. It's all free.
And on the Substack one, if you want, you can join in the conversation about what happened.
Oh, yeah, that's right. If you subscribe, then you get to be part of the comments. There's always lots of comments. And I never get a chance to go down there, but Shannon does pretty faithfully.
And I nag him that he should do the same.
It's true. It's true. She does nag a lot, sometimes about this. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and or listening. And we should probably do our theme again. You ready? Here it goes. Seeing the video version of the podcast from that theme, I like it because you get to see that little pull out from the sign north of Weatherfield, and it's got the little bouquet, the lens flares. Okay, just like the show.
Oh, boy! So what you're saying is, as well as being a genius that wrote that theme song, it was a genius who did the graphics.
Yeah, whoever did both of those things, what a guy! Probably a good-looking guy too. Anyway, thanks so much for watching and listening. We'll see you next week. See ya.